On this week's episode of the Best of Johnston County podcast, our guest was Trish Perna, the president of the Women's Club of Clayton, North Carolina. We talked to Trish about her journey to Johnston County and what brought her to Johnston County, which was her grandgems, as she talked about, who are settled in the Fayetteville Hope Mills area. We talked to her a little bit about the history of the Women's Club of Johnston County, a lot of the different community service projects they do, and what they do with the money they raise, and that anybody that is a woman over the age of 18 can be a member. You do not have to be 70 years old, and you don't have to be rich to be a member of the Women's Club of Clayton. So if you're interested in community service and the things that the Women's Club is involved in, listen in.
Welcome to another episode of Best of Johnston County, brought to you by Breeden Law Office. Our host, Jonathan Breeden, an experienced family lawyer with a deep connection to the community, is ready to take you on a journey through the area that he has called home for over 20 years. Whether it's a deep dive into the love locals have for the county or unraveling the complexities of family law, Best of Johnston County presents an authentic slice of this unique community.
Hello, and welcome to another edition of the Best of Johnston County podcast. I'm your host, Jonathan Breeden, and on today's episode, we have the president of the Clayton Women's Club, or the Women's Club of Clayton, depending on how you want to say it, Trish Perna. She's here to talk to us a little bit about her journey to Johnston County, and her journey to Johnston County is similar to a lot of people's journey to Johnston County, how she got involved in community service initially, and what drew her to the Clayton Women's Club, along with some of the activities of the Clayton Women's Club and how you can get involved. But before we get to that, I'd like you to like, follow, and subscribe to this podcast wherever you're seeing it, whether it be on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn, X, or any of the other social media channels of the Best Johnston County podcast. The Best Johnston County podcast comes out every single Monday and has now for over almost 2 years, and it's getting close. Our first episode came out in November of 2023. So we're excited to continue to bring this to you. And if you'd also be so kind as to leave us a 5-star review down below, that would be great. The Best of Johnston County podcast comes out every single Monday, and we'd like you to keep listening back and go back and listen to some of our previous episodes with the vast majority of the Johnston County commissioners, along with Congressman Brad Knott. We've had many great guests, Donna Mira, realtor. We've had Adrian O'Neill, the County Parks and Rec Director, on twice. So anyway, a lot of great people have been on this podcast. So keep listening. We'll have more great episodes coming in the future. If you know anybody who would like to be on this podcast, reach out to us through our social media channels at Best of Johnston County. Welcome, Trish.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Jonathan.
I know. I think I probably repeated myself in that intro. We batch record these like a lot of podcasters,
Okay.
right? So this is the third one we were recording today.
Okay.
And so sometimes the stuff starts to run together.
I was sitting here listening to you say all that stuff, and I'm thinking, I wonder how long it actually took him to memorize all that.
Well, it took a lot of episodes, let me tell you. But we've been doing it a while. And if you say the same thing over and over, you could memorize it.
Right.
Anyway, so tell the audience who you are and what you do.
Well, I'm Trish Perna. I'm the current president of the Women's Club of Clayton. And I appreciate you having me on to tell people about the Women's Club.
Well, it was good. We met initially at a J Now Awards reception a few weeks ago, where the Clayton Women's Club is it the Women's Club of Clayton or Clayton Women's Club?
It's the Women's Club of Clayton.
Okay.
That's our legal
right.
name.
I'm going to get it wrong. I'm sorry.
Everybody does. So
right,
as long as you know where to bring.
Right. I got you.
Yeah.
Anyway, where y'all are being recognized as one of the volunteer organizations of the year.
Yes, we won nonprofit of the year in Johnston County. That was we were really heartfelt over that. That was wonderful.
Well, it's great that what the JDOW magazine and JDOW Media and all they do to recognize, because those awards recognize people that don't win awards, like nonprofits.
Right.
I always sponsor the firefighter of the year, teenager of the year, medical professional of the year. Like they just recognize people who police officer of the year, they don't get recognized. So I'm a big fan of that, and always glad to sponsor it. And was happy to see your group win. Y'all had a great turnout for the award. You gave a nice speech up there. I know you're not.
Remember what I said.
No, right. I know you're not a big speech giver and all that stuff, but it's not like you stand up in front of 250 people every day, right?
No.
Right. No, I know. It's a lot.
84 once a month.
Right. That's for sure. So anyway, tell me a little bit about you. I mean, where'd you grow up? Where'd you work? What brought you to Johnston County?
So I grew up on the river in Ohio. Well, we talked about just south of Steubenville, if anybody knows where that's at. And I graduated high school from Buckeye North High School. And then as a young adult, I moved out to Las Vegas. I had family already out there. So I spent most of my adult life so far out there until I moved here in 2019. But so I spent out there working for a plastic surgeon's office, cosmetic plastic surgeon's office. She's a private surgeon. We had the OR suite right there in the office, all the bells and whistles, 30 years of stories. So
I cannot imagine a plastic surgery practice in Las Vegas. I mean, the things you must have seen in the book you could write, but we won't get into that on this podcast.
No, that's a total another kind of podcast.
I cannot imagine. I mean, plastic surgery is one thing. Las Vegas is another. So you want to talk about completely over the top. Yeah, you know what I mean? So, but I think you told me you moved here because you had a daughter and a son-in-law. Son-in-law was in the military. They were brought to Fort Bragg and they decided to put down roots here and you wanted to follow the grandkids.
That's exactly right. He is in the military, still in the military special forces. Now she's a realtor down in Fayetteville, Hope Mill area. And yeah, they told us they weren't coming back to the West Coast. So we said, well, then we got to follow those little grand gems. So that's what we did.
Oh, well, hey, there's nothing wrong with that. And you're not the first person to move to Johnston County to follow
a lot of people I meet here
of kids
do the same thing.
They do. Yeah. Hey, look, it's a great place to live. The weather's nice. Taxes are low. It's not too crowded. You know, whatever you need that we don't have in Johnston County is available in Raleigh. Yeah. So it's a reason why the Triangle is the number one place to live in America. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people move here every single day.
Yes.
So how did you get involved with community service in general? We'll get to the Women's Club in a minute, but I'm fairly certain this was probably not your first community service involvement.
Actually, it was.
Oh, it was. Okay.
Jonathan.
All right.
Actually, it was.
All right.
Vegas, busy, working hard, working long hours, and then raising kids. I never had time. Not that I didn't want to, but I'd give my few bucks as I passed their fundraiser on the sidewalk or whatever. But when we decided to move here, my husband and I were talking, and we decided that I wouldn't go back to work unless I ended up having to. So I would be available for the Grand Gems. But I get bored. I know me. So I said, well, I think I want to help give back to the community and figure out how to do some charity work. And I didn't really know. So when I first moved here, then I was looking online and I found the town of Clayton, and then that led me to downtown development. And so I volunteered for the tree lighting that year, and that was a lot of fun. But through that, I ended up meeting Cheryl Champion. Do you know Cheryl Champion?
I know Cheryl Champion.
Okay, I feel like everybody knows Cheryl Champion.
Her and I were on the GCA board together for like 6 or 7 years.
Yes, okay.
She was running volleyball, and she is a great person.
Fantastic.
She's awesome.
Fantastic. So I got partnered with her so she could show me the ropes, and she started talking about the Women's Club of Clayton, and that's how I learned about it. So I went to a meeting, and I liked it, went back to another meeting, and I joined that day. So, and then through the last 5 years, my turn to be president. So
your turn to be president.
My turn.
I got you.
So.
Well, I think people need to understand the Women's Club of Clayton is not a social club. It is a working club.
It is a working club. We work hard, so we get a lot done.
Yeah, I mean, I think, it's not just sit around and have tea and stuff. I mean, they're out there doing stuff in the community all the time, and have the whole 25 years I've lived in Johnston County.
Yes. Yeah. So the Women's Club of Clayton actually started in the early 20s. So we've been around for a long time, and we've always been a working club. Help the town however. In fact, Mayor McLeod right now tells people if you want something done, talk to the Women's Club of Clayton. And we're proud of that.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Well, so the Women's Club of Clayton is part of a larger organization of, I guess, Women's Clubs International.
Yeah, so General Federation of Women's Clubs, it's an international organization. And so they are what we consider our bigger support, our larger support. And then that filters down into GFWC NC so that there's a state level. And we're a member of the state level as well. Okay.
And so what is the mission of Women's Club Internationals and the mission of the Women's Club of Clayton?
Well, they're in line which is one reason why we're a member with them. But so you've got this, our club is broken into 5 sections. So they're called CSPs, Community Service Programs. So we've got environment, we've got arts and culture, we've got health and wellness, we've got civic engagement and outreach, and we have education and libraries. So everything we do in the community, all of our projects, all of our fundraising money that goes out to the community and organizations, all falls within one of those. And on the state level and the international level, it's the same. And then, of course, for the international and federal, I'll go with federal and state, there's a lot of legislative stuff that they influence.
Well, and let's talk about some of the many projects that the Women's Club of Clayton does. They, those of us who have been around a long time remember some that have been done in the past that might be coming back. I remember the fashion show. You said it might be, you told me before we started recording, it might be coming back in the spring of 26. Let's talk about, were you there? You were there when they did the last fashion show. It was like 2 or 3 years ago.
I had just joined.
Okay.
I had just joined with the last one that they did, and they said it was fantastic. I didn't get to go. I was still learning the ropes. It was already in the, had already been planned and all that by the time I joined. But anyway, but they said that was fantastic. So if we do get to do it in the spring, I'm going to be excited because it'll be my first one I get to experience. So.
Right. Well, that's great. I remember that. I remember the community garden that they sort of started. I know maybe you're not as involved with it as you were, but just talk about what it is, where it is, and who's doing it now.
So it's the community garden on Main Street there in Clayton, in downtown Clayton, and it's owned by Thomas Lipscomb. And he is very generous in letting people come in and use a box and grow vegetables. But with our club, along with his help, we were able to turn the garden into a Christmas not parade, but destination. So, and all the garden boxes were decorated with different Christmas themes, and we had candy for the kids to come. And I think that first year we had 1,100 people come. And then the second year, I think there was like 2,400 people that had come. There were people who had heard about it, came from Raleigh and even other states. They were here visiting family and saw it on we listed on the free online listing. So it was quite popular.
I got you. Y'all still doing that now? Or is somebody doing it?
They still decorate it for Christmas. It's not a big event that I'm aware of. The lady that was in charge of that in our club unfortunately passed away, and it never got picked up really by anybody else. So we do still maintain a fairy garden environment just built in there for little kids to come in and visit and play with and touch things.
So where is the Women's Club of Clayton? It has a building.
Yes, it's on South Church Street, 109 South Church Street. It's right across from the library in Clayton.
Okay, and right around sort of catty corner from Horn United Methodist Church.
Yes, that's exactly where it's at.
And right down from the new town hall, which was the old school.
Yes,
right.
I just learned the story about that the other day. Yes.
Yeah, so it's right there, and now they're going to have this new in the old town hall building. April Stevens and them are going to have these pop-up shops type things, these little vendor booths for small businesses. So that's going to be opening here in the next couple months. That's going to be exciting too. So I mean, that's great. So I mean, I'm just remembering the other events. Let's talk about the events that are going on now. Taste of Carolina.
Yes.
Which evolved from the sort of community gala, and then it sort of changed names, but same sort of concept. Talk about that, what it is, how you raise money, when the next one might be.
Well, I can tell you the next one's going to be on March 14th because we've already secured the date. That's our big fundraiser for the year. So that's what allows us to be able to go out into the community and do what we do. And at these events, there's all restaurants, local restaurants come in and they set up, and they're our food servers. And we get together and you can judge the food. They get to win awards just like we did at J Now. So we have different awards that we give. Usually there's dancing. Of course, there's some wine involved. Music. We always have a DJ, Mike. You've probably heard of Mike. He's fantastic. And it's just a great way for everybody to get fancy dancied up and come help the Women's Club support the community.
So where is it going to be?
So far it's always been at the farm at 42.
Farm at 42.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got you. And tickets include all you can eat, I think,
It
right?
does. Yes, they do.
And how much were tickets last year? I know you might not have next year's ticket
I think
prices.
they were 80.
80.
I
Okay.
think so.
All right. I
Yes.
got you. Does that include beer and wine?
No,
No.
that's under the Farm at 42's liquor license, so that's separate. So that's
I got
cash.
you.
That's cash bar.
I got you. So how many restaurants come and take part in Taste of Carolina?
Between 10 and 12.
Oh, man, that's great.
Oh, we have a great participator. The restaurants love it. So
Well, who were some of the past participants?
Manning's, Anthony's. I'm going to miss a bunch of people. I'm
Right.
sorry.
So, all right. So you don't remember exactly all the different ones, but we all know Anthony's La
You gave me 5
Piazza. We know
minutes, I'd
Manning's
figure
in
it out.
downtown Clayton.
Yeah.
They do a great job.
Yeah.
And I put on one of these Taste of Carolina type events with the Cleveland Chamber of Commerce about 10 years ago. And we had restaurants around the 4042 area. And it was so much fun, and it was so good. And Anthony was there. I mean, he's a tremendous community person and was willing to do it. And we had Cleveland Draft House and, many Fiesta Mexicana and so many great
so
local
there you
restaurants.
are. You're naming
we had
most
many
of
great
the
restaurants
ones that I couldn't think of.
that came and did it for us.
Yeah.
And it was a ton of fun. And of course, we ate too much, but we were able to raise a fair amount of money for the Chamber of Commerce that was doing that. So that's going to be March 14th, 2026.
Right.
And that's your biggest fundraiser. And you can raise as much
We
as...
also have a silent auction there as well.
Okay.
So last 2 years, we've had big nutcrackers that we had donated to the silent auction.
Oh, that's great.
Actually, another member of ours and my mom and her sweetie built them by hand, and so we put them in the silent auction. People love them.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And I mean, that event can raise, upwards of $30,000, I believe, right?
Yes.
And so where does the money the Women's Club raise go to?
So an example of one of the things that it goes to is for this last year, Isaiah 117, of course, is building their new home down in Selma. And so we purchased a bedroom and a half bath for them, and then also gave them some monies to use at their discretion. So that's one of the things. We also purchased 4 benches for the town of Clayton. They put one went to the Greenway, one went, they put them all over. And because there's extra seating, we're always hearing that people need extra seating around town. They have a lot of events downtown, so people need to be able to sit. We also support Boys and Girls Club. We support House of Hope, Harbor House, a lot of organizations. We've partnered with One Compassion before to get stuff done. And we also support Her Haven of Light, which I don't know if you've heard about them. They've been around in town for a couple years. And a lot of the schools, Title I schools, we support a lot. So,
well, it's
also Angel Tree, Christmas kids. We usually shop for between 70, 80 kids every year for that.
70 or 80 kids. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
that
the counselors
tremendous.
Get a hold of us and give us lists, and we all sign up and go out and get to shop and wrap. And
well, I'm so happy to hear you list those organizations you support. We've had the vast majority of them on this podcast.
I've heard.
Right.
Yeah.
And we had the Isaiah 117 house, which is going to be a house for children coming into the foster care system to go and stay for a few hours, up to 24 hours, until they can be placed with a foster family. There will be toys. They will be able to have a bath. They will be able to get shoes or whatever they would like to have.
Such a wonderful
tremendous organization
service.
building that in Selma. And that's going to be new to Johnston County and something that we're in desperate need of. You talked about House of Hope. We've not had anybody from House of Hope, but that's the one with the teenagers, correct?
Yes.
Right. Yes. So there's a home in Clayton. It's a residential home for teenage girls who are having a tough time, either through life circumstances, maybe some mental health issues, maybe there are all types of things. Sometimes their family situation is falling apart through no fault of their own, and they bring kids in, and that's been there probably 15, 20 years now. Those kids live there. They go to school there. They get counseling. They get support. They get loved. They get structure. They get 3 meals a day. Yes. Some of the kids coming there, haven't had 3 meals in a day in a long time. And they've done a tremendous job there. I
Yes,
played in
they
their golf
do.
tournament,
They
all
do
that
great.
stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. Harbor House, which is a domestic
Mhm.
violence shelter
Yes.
here in Johnston County. They also offer domestic violence classes for free. If you happen to be in a relationship like that or know somebody that is, you can go to harborshelter.org and you can get their information and they will help you. They have a 24/7 crisis line. They have a shelter you can go stay in. They have classes on how to get out of domestic violence situations, how to stay out of them. So, I mean, this is just tremendous that you're choosing the Boys and Girls Clubs of Johnston County, helping, disadvantaged youth there in Selma and kids all over Johnston County with life skills, cooking skills, homework help, all that stuff. We had a guest on, if you go back a couple of weeks, we had Chandler Purnell on, and he's been very involved with the Boys and Girls Club of Johnston County as of high. And he told me something I did not know, which was that they've not had a kid not graduate high school that came through the Boys and Girls Clubs of Johnston County. I did not know that.
Fantastic.
Yes,
I didn't. Oh my gosh,
Chandler
I'm gonna have
Purnell.
to share that with
Yeah,
the
that's right.
clubs,
Chandler Purnell
with the
told me
women.
that.
So yeah, I'm gonna have to tell the ladies that. That's
so
fantastic.
no, it's awesome, and I'm so
Aw.
glad that y'all are supporting those groups and have for a
Yeah.
long time.
Mhm.
And I've tried to tout those groups on here. I try to give money, time, resources to them,
Yeah,
just like y'all
yeah.
do. I think that's great.
Have family law questions? Need guidance to navigate legal challenges? The compassionate team at Breeden Law Office is here to help. Visit us at www.breedenfirm.com for practical advice, resources, or to book a consultation. Remember, when life gets messy, you don't have to face it alone.
What are some other fundraisers? I guess the fashion show may come back. That's a fundraiser.
It might. So we do another fun one, which is called Murder Mystery Dinner. So like your regular old, like you play with your besties, right? But that's really great because we use the performing arts teenagers to perform for us.
Okay.
And that's fantastic. That's a lot of fun. Of course, mostly the parents are the ones showing up. So a lot of
Right.
times we'll even buy tickets to attend. The last 2 years I had to sell my ticket back so that they could give the ticket to a latecomer parent. So, which is perfectly fine. So we do that at the clubhouse. That's 2 nights, Saturday and Sunday.
Okay.
So, and that I believe, if my dates are right, is going to be January 16th and 17th, if that's a Friday and a Saturday.
Okay. In 2026. So that's coming
Yes,
up.
2026.
Yeah, well, that's awesome.
That's coming up.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I mean, while you are a working club, y'all do have member socials.
We do. We have a social once a year. Our next one is actually next Thursday, August 21st. So if there's anybody out there who wants to come visit us and learn more and see what we do, you're more than welcome to. It's from 6 to 7:30. There's might be a little glass of wine involved in that as well.
Well, that seems to be a theme here with the Women's Club of Johnston County.
Yeah,
and a little bit of wine.
We joke about it all the time.
Anyway, I can understand that.
Yeah, I mean,
so when does it meet? Where does it meet?
We meet at the clubhouse.
Okay.
Our general meeting is once a month, September through May, and that's the second Wednesday at 11:45. Be there 11:45, so we know you have a plate of food ready for you.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And so it doesn't meet in the summer.
We do not meet formally in the summer. The CSPs do their kickoff meetings in the summer. Our year goes from June through May. So those first couple months when we're not meeting formally, they're doing their kickoff meetings, coming up with the projects they want to do for that year. Also, each CSP, they take turns in hosting the lunch at the clubhouse for the general meeting. So that's when they plan their program, guest speaker, menus, their game plan for how they're going to host. So, and they all do such a fantastic job decorating the clubhouse and just making it a really fun day for us to conduct our business. So.
Well, that's great. So what are the membership requirements? I've always thought you had to be older and rich to be a member of the Women's Club of Clayton. I'm just saying. I know that's not true, but that was always my thought.
I get it. I totally, right? So stereotypical, but even when I was growing up, I was like, I'd watch those ladies walk out of that little building in my small town and be like, oh man, I wish I could be like them. So anyway, the only requirement is $85 a year if you're going to have lunch. We do have a nighttime group if you want to join, and you can't meet during the day. We have what we call nightingales, and those are also part of the Women's Club of Clayton membership. but I do those meetings over Zoom, and they're the Mondays after the general meeting. And it's just a way for me to be able to let them know what happened at the general meeting, what new things are coming up, all those things. But I just come to the social, come to a meeting. You can come to 2 free meetings before you have to make a decision whether you join or not, and just see what we're about.
And I think there's a junior women's club
Yes,
of Clayton,
Clayton
right?
does have a juniors club.
Okay,
Yes.
what is that?
Fantastic.
And who's in that?
So Templa is their president right now. She's fantastic. She's doing a great job with them. They are a little bit younger crowd there. They meet at night. So you can be with them. I think you have until you're 35, I think, 45 maybe. And then you need to roll over into us if you want to continue. But they do the same thing that we do. So support the community and have a good time doing it.
And help y'all with y'all's projects, like Taste of Carolina and stuff.
They absolutely will, yes.
Well, that's great. That's great. And so you don't have to be rich, and you don't have to be 70.
No, you just have to be willing. You have to be willing to want to serve the community, and there's a certain passion that needs to be there. But otherwise, that's it. Bring your smile and let's get it done.
And want to work. Right. It's not a social club. It's a working club.
Not a social club. We work. So please be ready to work.
I got you. So, I mean, how can people, I guess, reach out to the women's club?
So we have a website. That's twccnc.org. They're welcome to do that. We're also on Facebook, Women's Club of Clayton. No "the" on the Facebook page, by the way. And yeah, so you can do that or reach out to me. I get emails all the time, so I'm happy to have people reach out to me as well.
Well, I guess we got a couple more questions here. What are the most exciting, what are you looking forward to? You're going to be president here. Your term is just starting. We're recording this in the middle of August. This episode probably runs in October. So as you move forward, your regular meetings start in September. What are you looking forward to? Yeah, we got Taste of Carolina coming up. We got Murder Mystery. Anything else? Anything different or unique? Maybe the fashion show comes back that you'd like to see the club do under your leadership?
Oh my gosh, they do so much. I do have a president's special project going on for my administration right now, which is engraved paving bricks. We're going to replace some broken concrete at the front of the club between the sidewalk and the steps with engraved brick. And then also in the back, there's a gate that the ladies can come through to kind of take a shortcut from the parking to the building. And we're also going to make a pad there with those engraved brick so that they have somewhere to walk. Because right now it gets if it's rainy or, gets a little muddy and slippery. Right. And so we're going to take care of that. So that's my project for this time. I would really like to get a mentoring program started, a formal mentoring program started so that new members can get caught up quickly on the process. Because we're not a formal group, when it comes to, you don't have to sit there and, with your hands, no elbows on the table and all that. But, but for learning the processes and kind of get past the intimidation of everything that happens, I think if we could get a mentoring program going, we could get more members that get involved in.
Right. Well, how many members do you have now?
The last count was 84.
Well, that's a pretty good group.
Yeah.
Do most of them come to most of the meetings?
We get the majority coming.
That's awesome.
Yes. Don't tell the fire department that just in case we're over capacity. I'm not sure.
Well, and before we in this, you can rent the building. Community groups can rent the building.
Yes.
I've been to events there. Mm-hmm. What's involved with that?
Yes. So you can get on the website. The application's there. The clubhouse rules are there. Contact information is there. Capacity for that is 60. But we have a lot of bridal showers there. We have a lot of baby showers there. We've had weddings there. You name it. And then we have smaller organizations and businesses that meet there as well for their annual, just get out of the office and have their annual game plan meeting or, whatever they want to do. So we've done a lot of that. We have book clubs that meet there. So yeah, it's actually pretty busy on the weekends.
Well, that's great. That's great. Well, the last question we ask everybody on this podcast, you've been here for 5.5 years now. What do you love most about Johnston County? I'm
gonna sound like a broken record, but I'm gonna say it. It's the people.
It's the people. It's always the people.
It's the people. It's I could not have landed anywhere with nicer people, and I just instantly fell in love. So,
Oh, that's great.
yeah.
That's great. Well, we'd like to thank Trish for coming on and being our guest on this week's episode of the Best of Johnston County podcast and educating all of us on the Women's Club of Clayton and all of their involved. You do not have to be 70 years old and you do not have to be rich to be a member. If you take nothing else, if you care about this community and you want to get involved, this club is for you. It is one of the best clubs that has been around forever. They've done so much in the 25 years that I've been here in Johnston County, and they're still doing a tremendous amount, and they're going to continue to grow and do even more as we move forward. As we asked you earlier, please like, follow, subscribe to this podcast wherever you're seeing it, whether it be on Apple, YouTube, Spotify, TikTok, LinkedIn, or any of the other social media channels of the Best of Johnston County podcast. If you'd be so kind as to tag us in your Instagram stories, Best of Johnston County, that would help us grow our reach. And if you would give us a 5-star review down below, that would also help us reach more people and let them know why Johnston County is the best county and why this podcast is for anybody that loves Johnston County. Until next time, I'm your host, Jonathan Breeden.
That's the end of today's episode of Best of Johnston County, a show brought to you by the trusted team at Breeden Law Office. We thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to sharing more interesting facets of this community next week. Every story, every viewpoint adds another thread to the rich tapestry of Johnston County. If the legal aspects highlighted raise some questions, help is just around the corner at www.breedenfirm.com.